everyone. You're watching the program Moscow MOSAIC, and I'm the host, Mike Gibson. And today we're once again in India. In early December, Moscow Days are taking place here in Delhi. The delegation of the Moscow city government has prepared a large business and cultural program. In this episode, we'll tell you all about the most interesting events of this occasion. It's going to be interesting. Stay tuned. On today's program, the long-awaited meeting. The head of the Russian Federation has arrived in the Republic of India.
The current visit, the agreements reached in practice, will contribute to the further deepening of the Russian-Indian strategic partnership.
2 days of strengthening business, cultural and sports contacts between Moscow and Delhi.
These were bright, saturated events, activities. There were performances by our best musical ensembles, masterclasses, exhibitions of famous Moscow artists.
The Russian-Indian Business Forum brought together more than 3,000 representatives of the business communities from the two countries.
I have been a regular for many years now in India, in Singapore and in Dubai. And I have only seen this forum grow. It's gone from strength to strength.
Big Asia Media Group is expanding its presence in India.
Today we've already reached an agreement to produce a program highlighting positive news from India. This is a major joint project.
December 2025 became a significant month for the development and strengthening of Russian-Indian relations. On December the 4th, the first state visit in 4 years by the President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, to the Republic of India took place. The country's Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, personally welcomed the Russian leader by the aircraft steps at the Indian Air Force Base, Palam. Over the 2-day visit, both informal closed-door meetings and official negotiations were held at the Hyderabad House in Delhi.
Our countries are important partners for each other in trade, investments, and technology. For instance, last year, our bilateral trade turnover increased by another 12%, setting yet another record. That is somewhere around $64.5 billion. It is forecasted by the end of this year the trade volume will remain approximately at the same level. Your Excellency, I am confident that in the future, our friendship will give us the strength to tackle global problems and challenges. And we will, I hope, become leaders of a more prosperous future.
Following the visit, the leaders of the two countries adopted a joint statement and outlined priority areas for state-to-state cooperation. In total, the parties signed 29 joint documents. The Moscow Days, held in Delhi during these same December days, showcased the broad potential of Russian-Indian cooperation in the economic, cultural and humanitarian spheres. The event was organized by the Department for External Economic and International Relations of the City of Moscow, the Business Council for Cooperation with India, and the Moscow Center for International Cooperation, with active participation from Russian and Indian government bodies, businesses, associations, and educational institutions. One of the key events in the Moscow government delegation's visit to Delhi is the Russian-Indian Forum. Its motto is "The power of partnership lies in the unity of goals. Export to Russia." I think this is going to be interesting. The Russian-Indian Forum took place over 2 days. The event was organized by the Ross Congress Foundation, the Federation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry, and the Ministry of Commerce and Industry of India. The central event of the forum was a meeting of its participants with the leaders of Russia and India, Russian President Vladimir Putin and the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
I would like to emphasize and say The most important thing, that this forum, when we conceived, organized, and proposed it, was initially intended precisely to showcase the many facets of our cooperation. And I want it to be understood, the Russian delegation came not only to discuss energy issues, not only to place orders or sign contracts for oil or gas supplies. We want to develop multifaceted relations with India in a wide range of areas. India is one of the largest foreign trade partners of the Russian Federation. The same can be said about Moscow. Last year, our trade turnover with Indian partners exceeded $38 billion, and overall trade between our countries has already surpassed $70 billion. And during his visit to India, President Putin set a task, together with Prime Minister Modi, to reach a trade turnover exceeding $100 billion by 2030. A very ambitious goal.
The Russian-Indian Business Forum brought together business leaders and diplomats, government officials and experts from both countries on one platform. At the forum, several panel discussions are taking place simultaneously across multiple halls. They're covering everything from pharmaceuticals to artificial intelligence. Well then, let's try to see it all. On the very first day, the forum was attended by 2,300 guests. The program included panel discussions, strategic sessions, and round tables dedicated to various areas of Russian-Indian cooperation.
And I think the relations which our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, and Mr. Putin have built in the last few years speaks volumes of it. Now we are striding on the work of progress, and I think we are going to do very well in the coming few years.
I have been a regular for many years now in India, in Singapore, and in Dubai. And you know, I have only seen this forum grow. It's gone from strength to strength. Not only has it been very successful in showcasing the country overseas, it has also attracted a lot of mutual interest in the respective host countries.
On the first day of the forum, there's a strategic session called Sell to Russia, New Horizons for Indian Business. I think we should definitely drop by. Giving welcome remarks at the session were Deputy Chief of Staff of the Presidential Executive Office of the Russian Federation, Maxim Areshkin, as well as India's Minister of Commerce and Industry, Piyush Goyal.
The goal of our forum is to expand and intensify direct contacts between the business communities of our two countries, to establish new channels of cooperation with Indian exporters, and to organize procurement on the Indian market of products and services in demand in Russia.
I thought it was a very positive, very close forum, which was made us feel good that our long-term relationships still remain the way it is. And Mr. Areshkin spoke very well as well from the Russian side. So both Mr. Goyal and Mr. Areshkin spoke very well.
The Moscow days in Delhi included not only business meetings, roundtables and business dialogues, but also a cultural program. One of the highlights in the event-packed schedule of the Moscow delegation was a masterclass by Russian artists Sergei and Maxim Sidorenko.
The Department for External Economic and International Relations of the Moscow government prepared an engaging cultural program featuring renowned Moscow artists Maxim and Sergei Sidorenko. They are brothers who represent the traditional classical academic Moscow school of painting. Graduates of the Surikov Art Institute, they work with classic techniques and very convincingly represent Moscow in various international projects which are led by the department.
The Sidorenko brothers showcased their painting skills to the students of the Delhi College of Arts.
in Delhi, we are regularly in touch with the Russian embassy. So we work together and we organize many events with the collaboration. So, but it is very important to bring more and more artists from both the side.
As part of our visit to India, we have 3 masterclasses planned. Today, specifically, it's at the College of Arts, and we will be painting what has struck us the most, having already gathered our first impressions from just one day.
At the masterclass, the artist decided to capture the famous Red Fort, one of Delhi's iconic landmarks. This citadel dates back to the era of the Great Mughals, who ruled India for more than 3 centuries. Construction was completed only 10 years after its commencement in 1648.
Wonderful impressions. What we managed to see in just one day really pleased us. The atmosphere is very colourful, which is especially enjoyable for artists to observe.
Participants of the masterclass also had the opportunity to get acquainted with the works of the Sidorenko brothers. The artists have brought 20 paintings with them to India. They depict recognizable landscapes from central Russia and the south. I think our Indian friends will truly love them.
Well, we wanted to bring a little piece of Russia to India, some places that are familiar to us, that we've visited, and where we paint.
And now an event will take place that is especially important for our TV program. As part of the Moscow Days in Delhi, the management of the TV channel Big Asia will meet with their Indian colleagues. Representatives of the Big Asia Media Group, led by CEO Alexander Lebedev, along with our film crew, visited the Indian state broadcaster Prasar Bharati. It is one of India's largest media holdings. A key outcome of this visit was the signing of a memorandum of cooperation.
It's very important for us that today we signed a broad cooperation agreement with Prasar Bharati and held very interesting negotiations on collaboration under the terms of our agreement, which has been published today on the official Kremlin website. I believe that all of this together gives us grounds to speak confidently about our future plans.
We had a very, very productive meeting earlier today, and we have discussed 2 major items of immediate collaboration. The first being that the Prasar Bharati newsfeed service, which we call Shabd, will be made available to Big Asia, so that authentic and credible news from India. We've also agreed to identify producers on both sides who will get together to produce a diary kind of a program where major events happening in the respective countries.
The CEO of Prasar Bharati and the CEO of the Doordarshan news channel, part of the media holding, gave us a tour of their television studio and demonstrated its operations. The meeting's participants discussed future joint projects and also watched the live broadcast of the meeting between India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin.
So we have special programs which showcase the positive happenings around the country and the world. So the positive part of news is very much part of our culture in Prasar Bharati. And being the public broadcaster, it is our duty also to show the country as it is.
Today we have already reached an agreement to produce a program highlighting positive news from India. This is a major joint project. It will be a weekly show. For now, it airs only on the Doordarshan channel. We will create a new version specifically for Russian viewers, which fully aligns with our concept.
The Moscow Days in Delhi program also included a series of important sessions within the Russian-Indian Business Forum, featuring the Minister of the Moscow government and head of the Department for External Economic and International Relations, Sergei Cheromin. One of the discussions focused on the human resources policy and labor migration. At the center of the discussion was the growing interest of the Russian labor market in attracting skilled professionals from India. The session addressed the sectors where the need for additions to the workforce are particularly acute, as well as methods for attracting foreign employees.
For us, migration from India can serve as a key factor in attracting highly qualified specialists. We estimate that this year around 35,000 migrants arrived in Russia from India, which is ultimately a relatively small number compared to the total quota for 2025, set at approximately 72,000.
Spices, tea, cosmetics, and other goods from India are very popular in Russia today, and the demand for Indian products is growing rapidly. So let's now find out which new items will appear on the shelves of Russian stores. At the session, Russia-India, Building Sustainable Cooperation Chains in Trade and Industry, the discussion focused on expanding trade turnover between the two countries. In his speech, Moscow Government Minister Sergei Cheromyn outlined the capital's approach to developing cooperation with Indian partners. He emphasized the significance of Moscow in Russian-Indian trade.
We hope that soon new Indian products will appear on Moscow's shelves, including clothing, because India is one of the world's leading workshops where goods for top brands, including European ones, are manufactured. And I am delighted to say that we welcome the arrival of Indian pharmaceutical companies and high-tech firms, as well as those engaged in engineering, electronics manufacturing, and consumer goods.
As part of the business program of Moscow Days in Delhi, Moscow Government Minister and Head of the Department for External Economic and International Relations, Sergei Cheromyn, also held a series of important meetings with representatives of the Indian business community.
I cooperate with the Moscow government in different ways, but I'm also in the sectors of satellite, energy. I've been doing a lot of work with the airlines, with Aeroflot. I've been helping some of the Russian banks and some oil companies. We've done bits and pieces of different works with different Russian government and Indian companies as well.
As part of the business program, the Moscow government delegation, led by Minister Sergei Cheromyn, chairman of the Business Council for Cooperation with India, held a working meeting with the leadership of the Patanjali Group. This is one of India's largest national conglomerates, specializing in the production of Ayurvedic medicines, natural food products, and beauty goods. Following the meeting, the Business Council and Patanjali Group signed a cooperation program aimed at developing a long-term partnership.
Tell me about Ayurveda. It's the energy, right?
Ayur means age.
Okay.
And Veda means knowledge. The knowledge of age. We are reversing aging. We are reversing age. So yoga is anti-aging.
Okay.
This is immunity booster.
Right. Ayurveda.
This is good for longevity.
It's great.
So I will live for 1,000 years.
Wow.
So
That's
this
fantastic.
is the power of yoga.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
And I am now 60 years.
Amazing.
But my energy level, my biological age is only 25 years.
25 is
I can run with the
want to
young
be like
people.
you.
With you.
Yes, exactly. Let's do this. Amazing. Yeah. Fantastic.
An important part of the sports program of Moscow Days in Delhi was a friendly golf tournament. It took place at the Delhi Golf Club and brought together athletes from Russia and India. The tournament served as a symbol of sports exchange and the strengthening of informal ties between the two countries. The competition concluded with a grand award ceremony for the winners.
It was a real pleasure to interact with everyone because this was a new experience for us. We talked about golf-related things and also just about life because the culture in Delhi is very different from Moscow. So we gained a very valuable experience. It was interesting.
Great fun. We had these youngsters playing. It's always a pleasure to see youngsters playing golf because they are the future. And your youngsters, they were playing such stimulating golf. I watched them yesterday and today and it's great fun.
During Moscow Days in Delhi, a ceremonial reception was also held, featuring performances by Russian and Indian creative ensembles.
Such cultural and humanitarian ties, including those in the field of sports, bring our peoples closer together and allow us to mutually enrich our cultures. And I would like to especially emphasize that Muscovites have a great love for Indian traditions and, of course, Indian history. This is evidenced by the fact that nearly 2.5 million people attended India Days in Moscow this year, and that's an absolute record. And I truly hope that we will continue to support such events and, of course, the exchange of cultural values.
Guests of the evening had the opportunity to hear traditional Russian songs performed in a unique interpretation by the ensemble Lubomila. This was the group's third visit to India.
It's always an amazing experience. It's always very pleasant when people sing and dance along with us. We are very happy to share our warmth and love through our native Russian songs with our compatriots, of course, and naturally abroad in different countries, and today here in New Delhi.
I really like your costumes. Where are they from? How did you come up with them?
These particular costumes are stylized and modern, but they are based on Mezan painting. For example, you can see horses, birds, foxes. All the patterns are from northern Mezan painting. We stylized it, and it originates from the Arkhangelsk region.
Later in the evening, an Indian ensemble performed several folk dances in traditional costumes.
They all are the classical dancers, and today we are very happy and we also feel very honored that we are showing you, our India, our Indian heritage, our Indian culture, and the way to show the Indian culture and heritage, the best way is to show by the classical dance forms.
A highlight of the festive concert was the performance by Hiramonk Forti, the winner of the Russian music TV show Voice.
I was familiar with India in a general way. That is, I knew the culture. I used to listen to a lot of music from Indian films and even collected it. I really love Ayurveda. Various Ayurvedic supplements are a constant feature in my daily routine. I would like to say that Moscow Days, as always, are vibrant, emotional, and very eventful. A number of important meetings have taken place and agreements have been signed that give us reason to believe that India is becoming closer to Russia every day. And most importantly, however, is that the people of Russia need to know more about India, its history, culture, and traditions.
The Russian-Indian Business Forum and Moscow Days in Delhi served as an important platform for strengthening bilateral ties, confirming the mutual interests of Russia and India and expanding cooperation across all key areas. Over the course of the 2 days, numerous new business contacts were established and major agreements and contracts were signed. In the near future, Russia and India are set to increase trade turnover, expand cooperation in the energy, defense and space sectors, and simplify visa procedures. All of this lays the foundation for further development of joint projects and the strengthening of dialogue between Moscow and regions of India.
Our program is coming to an end. 2 days filled with exciting and vibrant events have come to a close. Moscow Days in Delhi once again showed just how close the peoples of Russia and India are. This has been the program Moscow Mosaic, reporting from Delhi. I hope we'll definitely come back here again. I'm Mike Gibson. See you next time. Bye.